Okay, back for part 2 of the Blu-ray DVD update. Let's see, first up is the classic Maniac. Blue Underground release with the lenticular cover. Actually, it pretty much a must purchase. I mean, I can tell you, I watched Maniac yesterday. It's a gorgeous copy. I mean, it's an incredible looking print. 4K scanned. I mean, it just looks gorgeous. It's a tremendous restoration. I was just looking. Of course, we got an audio commentary with the director, William Lustig. 2 cuts of the film, and the soundtrack. It's a great release. Gotta get it. Actually includes a little. I didn't notice this while I was looking at it. It's got a booklet about the film. Of course, it's got the famous Tom Savini head blasting scene, which still looks great and has tremendous impact. Even, I mean, after multiple viewings, it still looks great. So yeah, that's Maniac. Next up is an Arrow release. No, I'm sorry, Indicator. And that's Born of Fire, which I have not watched yet, but it looks interesting. You can see Indicator's doing a fantastic job with their releases as well. I've never seen this. I don't know. I really don't have much to say about it. I've heard a lot of people say good things about it. Indicator's booklets too are very nice. So that's a whiteout. But yeah, Indicator's booklets are really nice. Let me look at this a second and see what we've got as far as special features. Limited edition. I mean, yeah, it's just loaded with special features. Next up is The Mind of Mr. Soames, which is another Indicator that I've been kind of holding out on buying. It's kind of a slow film, psychological horror film, but I got it at a good price during Black Friday, so went ahead and picked it up. And I want to say, another fairly thick book. This is an Amicus, a rare Amicus film. I've never seen it. Okay, here's a copy of Blood of Satan's Claw, which is a really good movie. Linda Hayden stars as this witch. I think the only negative to the film is the eyebrows they put on Linda Hayden were terrible. I've got multiple copies of this, but the nice thing about this release is it's got some audio commentaries. Screenbound Entertainment. I don't know much about them. But it has 2 audio commentary tracks, which is kind of a becoming difficult to find a lot of special features when it comes to these Hammer, Amicus mashups from the 60s and 70s. A lot of the actors and actresses are gone now, and directors too. So it's kind of odd that you've got 2 commentary tracks on this release. Next up, Body Melt Vinegar Syndrome with the slipcover. And that is a thick slipcover. Haven't ever seen Body Melt, but I look forward to watching it. I've heard good things about it. And of course, Vinegar Syndrome's releases and special features are great. I mean, it's just loaded. It's a loaded release. You see right there. Blu-ray and DVD. Next up is this, let's get into some Criterions I picked up. First up is The Innocents. And this is a classic ghost story. Many people consider it the best ghost story of all time. I mean, that's debatable. There's a lot of really classic ghost stories. But as is usual, Criterion, all Criterion releases are so nice. They do such a great job. And of course, you get a little insert booklet. Next up is a film that's kind of escaped my collection for a long time, but with the Black Friday, I got Eraserhead, David Lynch. And this release is just, look at, I mean, that's just chock full of special features. Let's take a look here. My God. Look at the booklet on this thing. My gosh. Huge book on this. Looks like another classic Criterion release. And then had to pick this up, Night of the Living Dead Criterion. I got, as most of you do, I've got multiple copies of this, but this has the work print, which I look forward to checking out. But again, it's a lot of people have shown this off. I didn't get there's a special edition with a graphic novel that you can get. But, oh, this has got some kind of poster. Well, that's cool. Actually, it's a poster and then a little insert about I like the way they did that. That's kind of cool. All right. Let's see what else we got here. I picked this up in the bargain bin, Joyride. They're not very good films. Double feature, Joyride 1 and 2, but I think I picked this up for $2 at Second and Charles. We have a Second and Charles is like an FYE type place down here in Louisiana. You can pick up stuff cheap. Another Vinegar Syndrome title. The Dead Come at Home. The House on Tombstone Hill, which I think is a horror comedy, I believe. It's got a, once again, the slipcovers are really nice, these Vinegar Syndrome releases. Haven't ever seen this one. We have audio commentary track. Some interviews. Okay, what else we got here? Mondo Macabro, let's do that one. Perversion Story, Lucio Fulci. And this was a limited release. I got copy 139 of 1,000. Ooh. Got some lobby cards here. Whole slew of lobby cards here. And a little booklet. Let's see what we got here. We have 3 or 4 interviews. It's an HD transfer from the original negative. Looks like no audio commentaries. A whole slew of these cards, though. Yeah, Perversion Story. I think that's sold out now. And then along with that, I got Bloodlust, which I've never seen before. And I got number 616 out of 666. I wonder if that was intentional, 666. Once again, you got all these lobby cards and a small booklet. Let's see. 2 interviews. 14-page booklet. Okay. Next up, The Unnameable. which I've heard a lot of people say they love this. I've never seen this either. Crazy. That's with the slip cover. And this one has quite a bit of few special features. Looks like it's got an audio commentary track. I'm kind of looking forward to checking this one out. I've never seen it. Pretty plain Jane inside though. Alright, what else we got? Okay, yeah, I went ahead and dove into this. It was relatively cheap. I think I got this for less than 20 bucks. Troll 1 and 2, and really I bought it because it's got the documentary, which is really movie gold. If you don't know about this documentary, you got to check it out either on YouTube or something. Of course, the Troll movies are terrible. But I got this at a good price, and it came with the documentary, so can't complain too much. But this is a nice Eureka release. That's some really pretty bad films, actually. Separate disc for each one. And I think Scream Factory released this as well, but the big difference is, of course, you get the documentary on there as well. Next up is a copy of Torso from Arrow. I've already got a Blu-ray of this, but I mean, you know, anytime Arrow puts out a really good film, it's worth double dipping if you like it enough. And Torso's one of my favorites. We have a number of special features, new audio commentary by Kat Ellinger. I've seen her quite a bit. There you go with that. And of course the Arrow booklet. I'll be a few months watching this stuff. Okay, let's see. Next up, Olive. Really looking forward to this. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the original film. I actually like and prefer this 1978 film with Donald Sutherland. I think that's a better film. Jeff Goldblum, William Leonard Nimoy. But the original is also movie gold. I mean, you know, it's really unfair to compare in some respects. But Olive just did us right with this release. If you don't have this, you should definitely pick it up. Look at all the special features you get with this thing. It's awesome. And I haven't heard a whole lot out of Olive in a while. This is it's nice to see them back in it. It's been a while since I've seen them put out anything. Next up is two films I grew up with. In fact, I saw these when they were originally released for TV. Of course, Darren McGavin, Night Stalker, which is really fantastic vampire film. One of the best vampire films, I think. I mean, if you look, probably top 10 vampire films. Gritty, realistic. And of course, the film is the basis of the film was from the TV show, which, you know, I grew up on the TV show. I mean, every Friday, Saturday night, Darren McGavin, the Night Stalker, man, we had that on. My dad had that on constantly. Loved it. And I remember when I first saw this as a kid, I was probably, I don't know, 9, 10 years old maybe. It scared the crap out of me. I mean, that's a excellent vampire. Very realistic. You have a new audio commentary by Tim Lucas. And an interview with the director, an interview with the composer. So this is a great release from Kino. And I actually get a little booklet here. Of course, I got the follow-up film, which I don't like as much. It's a yeah, I think this is a weaker effort, The Night Strangler. But you know, Darren McGavin is so good at anything. It's still a good film. The story is weaker. But again, we get I believe we get yet another audio commentary from Tim Lucas and some interviews from Kino. Kino did us right with this release. Love it. Okay. Next up is Trick or Treat, collector's edition from Scream Factory. And what can I say about this film that hasn't been said? It's probably it is probably top 5 anthology, horror anthologies. Many people consider it their favorite. And I can see why. It's certainly an 8 out of 10 film. We have audio commentary track. Number of interviews, still galleries. Looks like a nice release. And then when I went ahead and picked up the Wreck series from Scream Factory. This box set was pretty. I mean, Scream Factory, of course, has come out with this price fixing. Not price fixing. That's probably a bad way to describe it. I would call it. They're trying to set these artificial price floors. And of course, it'll be interesting to see how that works out. I mean, it's all about supply and demand, basic economics, in my opinion. We'll see if they're successful in setting these price floors, and forcing distributors to. Basically, what they're just trying to do is set these relatively overinflated prices and force distributors to adhere to that or not distribute their films. So we'll see what happens with that. But the Wreck films, I have seen the first one. I liked it. I've not seen 3 or 4, but I think this is definitely a box set worth having. It's a nice box, too. As far as special features on this thing, let's see. Making of featurettes, behind the scenes footage and outtakes, deleted scenes. Looks kind of like a relatively sparse special features. And then finally, the creme de la creme. This is so near and dear to my heart. I've talked about it before. The Blood Island trilogy. Actually, it's not, as far as this set, it's not the trilogy. You've got the original 4th film, which was Terror as a Man. But these are Philippine horror films that was put together, produced by Sam Sherman and Eddie Garcia, the director. These are fun films. But I tell you what, the real payoff here is these audio commentaries by Sam Sherman. If you're interested in independent films, low-budget independent filmmaking, it's gold. I think these audio commentary tracks are the best audio commentary tracks, with the exception of Joe Bob Briggs, that's out there, bar none. Very. Sam Sherman is so interesting and engaging. The films themselves are, they're low-budget, schlocky horror films from the 60s. I mean, but they're a lot of fun, and I just love them, and I'm so glad this Severin did us right with this release. You get Beast of Blood, Brides of Blood, which is I guess if you wanted to do these in order, Terror as a Man is the first film, Brides of Blood is the second. Mad Doctor, Blood Island. I can remember as a kid collecting these horror books, and one of the scariest pictures I remember in the horror book was this little devil right here laying on the beach looking up at this. I mean, it was just 7 years old, but it stuck with me and resonated with me. I love that stuff. This is a great box set. Probably my favorite pickup of 2018, bar none, right here. Beast of Blood. And you even get a Blood Island recipe for a drink here. When these films were marketed, of course, Sam Sherman goes into great detail about the effect of blood in advertising, the word blood. And I mean, he was obsessed with marketing and selling just the blood. And he even had advertising where you would have some green, I think it was green blood that you could drink from Mad Doctor at Blood Island. Crazy stuff. But this is the best. I think this is the best release of 2018 for me personally, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful box set. So yeah, that's gonna do it. That's gonna wrap up my DVD and Blu-ray update for November, October, November, and early December here. I've got a lot more stuff coming in for December. I'm gonna get back and doing some reviews, Jess Franco Fridays, things like that. So yeah, I appreciate it, and let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.